Louisiana. I went to Southern University, and I have a bachelor's in business administration. I have a national certification in massage therapy, and I grew up in a city that was very artistic. A city, that's the home of voodoo and jazz music and just all of these great in poetry and all of these great just artistic ways of expression. And that was something that was just greatly instilled within me. And growing up in the Baptist church, singing in the choir. No, I cannot sing, but I can write music. But that's just something that just helped to propel me to just become the writer and the growing writer, that I am to this point. And the one thing about my first book, which is entitled Soul of a Man, Poetry for the Mind, Body, and Soul. I call this my mixtape in a sense because you have so many different, topics of poetry in it, from things from historical aspect, things from racism that Black people go through in this country, around the world, things about love, hope, peace, understanding, things about the soul. So that was naturally my first book, and like I said, I called it my mixtape because it's variety, and I write from a soulful, creative point of view, and that means that I don't put myself in a box. I'm always growing as a writer, and I think that's just really cool. My one motto is that I would always have to say that let your creativity take you anywhere you want to go, because even if I'm not on a plane traveling somewhere, I can always imagine that I'm there. And that's one thing about a book. And I know a lot of I know books have gone digital nowadays, but that's one thing about a book is that it can take you, especially a child's imagination, and I say I'm a kid at heart, but I feel like it's something that can take you anywhere, even if people try to talk you out of your dreams and your goals and the things that you really want to do for yourself, because most of the time when you naturally want to do something, they may have a fear of doing it, so yeah. The genres that I write across, well, like I said, my first book was entitled Soul of a Man, Poetry for the Mind, Body, Soul. And that was about poetry. My second book was, this is Lyrical Soul, Lyrical Quotes for Her Mind, Body, and Spirit. Now, this book is just short quotes for women, girls of all ages, all cultural backgrounds. This is just something from me to them, just to uplift, to get them feeling right, just to give that knowledge and just those very short lines, something that'll hit the mind and go to the heart and that'll go into the soul, because we live in a society where everything is it's a microcosm of what it used to be, and the attention span of people isn't actually what it used to be. So I just wanted to give back, and I wanted to give something where people could get that understanding, but they could get that understanding kind of in today's terms, so to speak. Oh, and I also write children's books. Also, I have a co-authored series called The Adventures of the Bunny Detective with Miss Tristan Jackson, and that can be found on Amazon and in my website, www.soulofaman504.com. And I also have another kids book coming out that I co-authored with Mr. Derek Williams, and that is called "Chance You're Begging for Trouble," and that should definitely be out next month, and I'm really excited about that children's series. How long does it take me to write a book? It just depends on what the book is. You know, if it's a long lengthy novel, I'd say about I'd say about maybe 5 to 6 months. But like I said, it just depends on the book. Sometimes these things can, you start brainstorming, you start writing, you start doing your character development, and sometimes it's like these things can be like a massive world in a sense. So it can be something that it can be something that it can, like I said, it can be a lengthy amount of time, or it can be something that's like I'm working on I'm working on a lot of stuff, but I'm working on a second poetry book also, and that's something that since I've been writing poetry since the '90s, I started out writing poetry. That's something that necessarily doesn't it doesn't necessarily take me that long, because I know how to. I know how to state my opinion in those poetic verses, so that's something that doesn't. That's just something that doesn't take long. But I think as far as writing a book goes, I think it just depends on the author, the budget, because writing books, there is a business side to it, which I've learned, and I'm still learning. So I think it just depends on the book and the genre of the book, and I think it depends on the author, because I think as artists we are probably our greatest critiquers, so to speak. So I think when we feel at home with it, then we go ahead and send it out to the editors and start the process of naturally getting the book out there. So how do I think I've evolved with my creatively? Well, like I said, I never wanted to put myself in a box. I never did, and I never will. I see, I'm going to start writing scripts pretty soon, but I think there's so many different genres out there, and there's so many great writers out there. I always look back into the Harlem Renaissance, and I look at people like Maya Angelou, Kansi Cullen, the list goes on and on and on. So I think that me growing creatively, it's almost like growing up, being a kid in a sense. The more you write, the more you experience, the deeper your writing is going to get. So I think it naturally just comes with your experience, and I think it definitely comes with your your talent level. And what advice would I give to any aspiring writers? I would tell them haters are going to hate. And as I'm learning in the process, like I was talking to somebody earlier today, that people, those who are going to support you, they're going to support you. Some people may just disappear into the background, and, when that real true success hits, or whatever you want to call your true success hits, then they're going to, those people might pop up out the woodworks and say, oh, I was always there for you, always knew that you could do it. But I would say, never put yourself in a box. Write, just keep writing. That's the important thing. Just keep writing, keep creating. Be around people that's going to inspire you. Get around people that's on that next level. I have a competitive nature. Not that I want to be better than anybody else, but I want to be the best that I can be. Always my end goal is to share my talents with the world. And I'm not going to stop until I do that. Some people may be good, selling their books at churches, or, they may get, their books in Barnes and Noble, and that just may be the level of success that they want. But I want I want global recognition, you know, and there's a lot more that goes into that. But you know, I definitely want that global recognition, and it's been an amazing journey. You know, I could say so far. You know, doing things like this, but it's you know, it's a beautiful, amazing journey. And you know, I'll just tell people to keep writing, keep creating, because somebody out there, you know, I know sometimes I look at the market looks so flooded. It looks like everybody's kind of writing the same things, you know, and I noticed that also. But nobody can naturally write like you can. So, you know, it's like that's your own unique fingerprint. Just like, you know, God encoded us with our own unique DNA signature. You know, you have your own talent level and you have your own level of expertise. So the main thing I would say is that to keep writing, to keep moving and keep creating, and naturally the people that's going to be there and the people that's going to come, they're going to come along that journey, which I'm learning, you know, which I'm learning myself. And another thing is it's definitely going to take you out of your comfort zone. So, you know, so just keep moving. Any tech tools that I use? Technology is very helpful. It is. You know, I know old school word of mouth is great also, but I think technology is real helpful. Things like, you know, I use a website called Creative Space to help publish my books, editing and things of that nature. Also, they also help with the children's books. Also, with the illustrations. I use a website called Fiverr. You know, they're real good, very, very economically cost effective. You know, and especially, you know, when you're coming out of pocket to, you know, try to put yourself out there as an artist. You know, because you know you have bills and all of these other things, and especially if you have kids and whatever else going on. You know, you have to budget. But you know, as the saying goes, whatever you have love for, you're going to, you know, make time for it. But social media, you know, social media is key. I know I have to do more videos. I know. So I have to tell myself that, you know, when I look back at this video and review it, I definitely have to do more. I definitely have to do more videos, and you know, that's something that's just going to get your, you know, it's just going to get your name out there, and you can reach more people, you know, with social media than you can, you know, just like I said, networking, that's a part of it. But you know, one video you can reach like 500 people, you know, and if I don't know 10, 15 out of those 500 get your book, I mean, you know, to me that's a win. So and also so just use social media to get your email list together, so you can tell people, you know, what you have going on, what you have coming up, because you know, people's, like somebody told me the other day, people's their attention span is very, you know, very short. You know, especially with people scrolling on social media, it's like, you know, you're on their mind today, but you know, 2 seconds later they're looking at somebody dancing or somebody, you know, some crazy video on social media. So, but yeah, definitely take advantage of that social media tools. And you know, I don't know everything, but I'm learning, and I am surrounding myself with the right people that's gonna, you know, help me get to where where I really want to be. Yeah, definitely get your website, get an app, you know, just things like that. You know, get your book on Amazon, so you can have it, you know, digital. So you know, so just different things like that. As far as my writing style, I think I just come up with titles. Some titles just kind of sit there for a while because I may be working on so much, you know, at a given point in time, and you know, work kind of, you know, gets in the way of that also. But as far as my writing style, you know, like I said, I'm a creative writer, and like if something, you know, I don't take credit for everything that I do. It comes